got out of dubstep when it started getting really formulaic. Then Foot Crab came around, which
Yeah.
blew up. Were you
Yeah,
expecting?
but
Were you
the
expecting
funny
that?
thing is, like, I got into that Duke shit
Right, right,
back in 2008,
right.
and I made the Foot Crab tune maybe then, but it didn't come out until 2010. So the track was on my hard drive for a year before I even was told that it was good. But I had this idea in my head. I was like, oh, if you could get a dubstep tune and a Duke tune and put it together, it could be really, really good. So
It was.
I made this tune. I kept on making some things like it, but it wasn't until Pinch and Peverlist heard it. They were like, this is a good tune, man. You should put it out. And then Lothar was like straight on it. He was like, yeah, I'll put this out. So to me, when it came out, it was kind of old, but it was interesting because you started seeing all these different types of people from different scenes playing the song. Like a Surgeon, the techno DJ, played it. I remember there was a DM Dead night, and I was in bed. I was about to go to bed, but I couldn't sleep because my phone just kept getting texts all night to tell me that every DJ on the night played it, which was insane. I'm like, what? Why am I not there? This is crazy. So it blew up in a very short amount of time. And
Huge.
it gave me this idea to switch my style, and I can break out of this dubstep thing that I'm not loving as much as I used to, and I can go and do something else. So, and the possibilities were endless. Even though it was Duke and dubstep combined, I could then go and play house music or electro music or whatever. It was an opening for a new thing.
That's good.
It was really nice to do that. And like I said, I was always into experimental music. To me, the Foot Crowd tune was an experimental tune. It just so happened to sound good in the club.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Nice. Kind of like a resurgence or like a reborn with a new name.
People I remember when it came around, people were like, this is a good time for a song like this to come around because some people weren't quite sure where dubstep was going in that. And
yeah. Definitely.
To me, dubstep hasn't changed much since that period. So it was kind of cool for a lot of other people to kind of realize that you could mess around with things within this tempo or even faster or slower with this kind of sound palette, but keep kind of a dubstep mindset towards what you're making. So yeah, it was cool. I just used the 808s. I heard these drum machine sounds and I got the samples and then started playing with the samples. And once I did the Foot Crab tune, my agent was like, oh, you can probably start doing live sets. So, okay, maybe I'll get an 808. So I started doing the 808 live set, and I'd take my drum machine to club and I'd be mixing the deck, and then I'd go into that little sequence in the drum machine and then back into a record. And that worked quite kind of well. And all summer this year, from May until September, I did a festival almost every weekend. 2 sometimes, and it was all live sets. But it wasn't with turntables, it was with drum machine, mixing desk, guitar pedals, and a 303. But I got not a 303 proper one because they're really expensive. So you can buy this thing called a Zox box, and you kind of make it yourself, and it sounds exactly the same, and it's got some more inputs on the back, and I used one of them with an 808, and it sounds great. But the 808 bass drums and the snares kick through, and the 303 on top of it seems to have a perfect kind of frequency range for it to kind of cut through the sound system. So there's me on stage jamming with that, and then playing some samples on Ableton, and it's kind of good fun, but it really, really works.
Nice. That's good.
But that was a good thing for the summer and festivals, but doing that at a club is a bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah. Nice. So which do you prefer? I mean, you prefer playing live now that you've been doing it?
No, not really. I mean, I
know you've always been a solid DJ and
I like the DJ because you can play with other people's music and get to hear other people's music in a club, and you get to pick what's going to come next. You can get more drunk. Which is so important.
Very important.
I have played live drunk, unfortunately, but that was kind of good too. But no, I like doing both. I do, and I can't pick one over the other, because when you play live, you're literally just doing something on stage that you've never really done before. Like, it's just a fresh kind of music, Just, this is cool, improvising, and as long as it's groovy and people dancing,
it's good.
Makes me happy,
Nice.
Yeah.
So you played loads of festivals this year.
Yeah, a ton.
Yeah, so I saw you just after Outlook and Dimensions.
Yeah.
What was your favorite festival of the year? Give us a good story.
I could give you a great story about Dimensions. I went on a 3-day acid binge and played live, which was excellent. But I got no time for that. No, that's really what happened. And the week before was Outlook as well, which was great. Outlook and Dimensions are done by the same people. It's in Croatia. It's like the 5th year they've done it. Now Outlook is more focused towards dubstep, and Dimensions is more focused towards techno, I would say. And the biggest thing I noticed was at Outlook, the average audience was about 18 to 22.
Yeah.
It was just children running around on drugs, you know, like, ah! And they were all from the UK. And then when I went back to because I left there, I went and did another festival in Amsterdam, and then I went to Bristol and did a gig there, and then I had to go back to Croatia to do Dimensions. And I noticed about Dimensions was the audience were about 24 to 35.
That's good.
And mostly European. And it's just because the headliner for Dimensions was Carl Craig.
Yeah, nice.
I'll be honest, I prefer Dimensions. Probably because I did go on an acid binge. No, that's not the entire reason. It was just like, it just felt, I'm a bit older anyway, you know, like, so it just felt more comfortable for me to kind of be in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
But I will say that the gig I played at Outlook was really good.
Nice.
You know, playing on stage to 3,000 people that are getting down to all the music you're playing was really, really cool. But as a punter, it's not really for me.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, but Dimensions is one of the best festivals of the year for me. What am I trying to? Exit as well, which is in Serbia. That was really cool. Festival. Man, I'm trying to think of any others. There's so many, but most of them were nice. I love playing outside. I think playing outside, music sounds a bit different, and people respond to music a bit differently outside as well.
True. It's a nice vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, so who are some of your influences, like music-wise? I know.
In terms of what I produce, or just no, it wouldn't matter, would it? It's like kind
just
of it's kind of just what I listen to. Yeah. Okay. Well, early on would have been the drum and bass stuff, like Tech Hitch actually. Before I lived with him, I was really into his music, just as a fan. So I grew up listening to jungle, drum and bass, and the rave music. I was into rave music when I was like 10 years old. So I just grew up listening to it, and by the time I was 13, I knew I wanted to be a DJ.
Yeah.
Like buying DJ mag, just reading it, going down the record shop and all that, and getting, friendly with all the people in the record shop.
That's good.
Which was cool, and then drum and bass, and then from listening to drum and bass for a few years, I ended up getting into other styles of music. But these days, I try and listen to as much music as I can. Like, I try not to listen to too much electronic music now. Stuff like, you guys have the best thing. You have Studio 54 radio on Sirius
XM, yeah.
Sirius XM.
I just turned them on to the Studio 54 station on Sirius XM.
That is so.
It's sick.
Just like, wow, this is great. Listening to that kind of music, this gives me many ideas. So I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when I'm at home, I listen to King Tubby. I think he's good, and jazz music or whatever. But
it's good.
Duke was a big influence. I will say that. Definitely in what I'm doing now.
Right.
Listening to that Duke music, I was like, whoa. They're doing things I've never heard before. And it's the dancing too. Watching them dance to it was like, nothing like that existed in the UK.
Well, it started off as like a dance scene more so than a music scene.
Yeah.
That's why,
Yeah, but then if you trace the history of that back, you can go to the 80s of Soul Train, right?
Yeah.
Where you have people dancing and music being played, so it's just a spin-off of that in a weird way.
Yeah.
Just no count what there is camera.
Yeah. Nice.
But that's how I got into it. I was watching it on YouTube, just thinking this is crazy. It inspired me massively. Like, especially Rashad and Spin.
Yeah.
Those guys I thought were making the best stuff, and I was listening to it. I was like, wow, I can really go and play this music in a club, and if it's the right audience, they will really get down to this.
Yeah.
So I remember it was start 2010. I went and played at Fabric, and I booked this headliner. And it was the week after New Year's Eve, I think. It was packed. I came on after D-Bridge, and I'm expected to play dubstep, and I didn't. I played a Duke set, and it went off. It completely went off, and I was like, wow, that was a change for me. Like, I can start playing this music that I've really enjoying, I've been listening to for ages. So that was a turning point. But the Duke stuff really